your mother. It's time for another episode of Birds with Friends. Just the
duo
of feathery brethren, weathering any season to see the Eagles eating teams like Scrammy's top with cheese. It's Philadelphia. Wulf and Zach kicking it cooler than
two.
Penguins till Zach runs off with his valet keys. He's a real nuanced goose. Pull up a branch, get loose. It's time for some juice on some Birds with Friends. The early bird gets the worm, but prefers getting turned like a turn on some Birds with Friends. Wulf and Zach coming at you with stats and things flapping.
We are going to rip out the hearts of other podcasts. We are going to bite off their eyeballs. We're going to start every segment watching the scene from The Last of the Mohicans where the guy takes a bite out of the other guy's heart. We may not be good, but we're going to be nasty. We're going to reflect the blue-collar nature of this city. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Birds with Friends on a Thursday evening. Cowboys week in full force. Bo Wulf, Zach Berman, Marissa Dunn here to talk about the latest that's going on with the Eagles. We will have a little Crow Thine Enemy. We'll have a little Swooper Soarcasting. Put your suggestions in the chat if you are here. We'll have our Crystal Bald Eagle predictions, and we will be joined after the break by the one and only Deniz to talk about Swooper, to talk about an update 5 games in on Johnny Gans, where things stand between him and Zach. Is like he physically making sure to appear in Zach's dreams? Does he have a way to do that? We'll get into all of that, but we got to start by asking Zach, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm excited for this podcast. Thursday night pod, big game this weekend. I've done a lot of work on this game.
Who does UCLA have? Oh, you're talking about the Eagles.
The Eagles game, yes. So excited for this podcast, excited for this game, excited for these next few days leading up to the game. We have some good coverage coming up, so looking forward to that.
MD, what's popping in your neck of the woods?
I'm super excited. Deniz is here. We talked all day long. He sent some graphics along. He's
Big
ready.
flex.
I'm ready. I'm ready for a big Swooper Soarcasting. I'm pumped for this episode.
All right, good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, without further Freddie ado, let's send it over to the Stone Cold Newsman for the latest on what's going on with the undefeated Birds as they prepare for an NFC East showdown in prime time.
The Eagles returned to the practice field today. It was their first practice of the week, and the good news for the Eagles is that they have a much healthier team, relatively speaking, than they did 1 week ago. And what I mean by that is even the players who are injured were limited practice participants. So we'll go over the big injuries. That's Jordan Mailata has the shoulder, but he was limited in practice today. Jason Kelce has the ankle, limited in practice today. Avonte Maddox, who's missed the past 2 games, limited in practice with the ankle injury. Jake Elliott, the right ankle, limited in practice. So that's progress there. And then Landon Dickerson and Isaac Seumalo, both of whom played last week, both of whom have ankle injuries, both limited in practice. Kenny Gainwell was a full participant. Patrick Johnson, who had the concussion, was a full participant. And Boston Scott is no longer on the injury report with that rib injury, right? So the Eagles can expect to have him back. So they had other players who were limited because of rest. That is standard operating procedure, in particular for their first practice of the week. Like we said yesterday, they had the walkthrough on Wednesday, but we were out there today, a dreary-ish day. Wasn't, it was a fall day, but it was raining this morning, raining off and on. They were still out there in the practice field. Looks like it's going to be a nice weekend for Sunday, and eager for that game. From the Dallas side, obviously you'll see that Dak Prescott was a limited participant in practice, but Cooper Rush is going to start this game, right? That's already been made clear. And then Micah Parsons has an injury that he's been nursing, but he's going to be on the field. Those are really the big ones as well. So that's the injury report. Other than that, not much news to discuss. We can get into particulars of this matchup. I think this is a really compelling matchup, but from a news perspective, that about covers it. Back to you in the studio, Bo.
Hey, thanks, Zach. And, stay dry out there.
Yes. It fortunately was not raining while we were practicing. I'm sorry, not while we were practicing, while they were practicing, while we were at practice.
How sorry are you? How divided is your attention to be doing a podcast live as your boy Carson Wentz is preparing to play in prime time?
Well, I will watch it and shout out to Seth Wickersham and Don Vanetta at ESPN. A really good story, eye-opening story on what's going on in the Commanders organization at the ownership level.
Yeah, it's one of those ones. It's one of those real eye-opening ones where it's like, oh man, you really thought that Daniel Snyder had everything together and was a guy on the up and up and was like a beloved person in every social circle that he's in. And to see this is like, wow.
I mean, there were illustrations in that story that, yeah.
Oh, believe me, I am not like the story was fantastic. I just like, what a surprise. Daniel Snyder is a cockroach. Oh my gosh. Good stuff. And well-timed, obviously, on their part to get this bad boy in time for a standalone game.
And look, it's been a tough week for Carson. Right?
It has been a tough week for Carson.
He's getting knocked left and right. So,
and this is like one of the first times where it's like unfairly so. Like for Ron Rivera to be putting everything on Carson Wentz is extremely unfair when he has done absolutely nothing. His defenses have been terrible. How about a little accountability? One of the 5 core values, Ron.
And then for like other owners in the story to be like, oh, so Carson Wentz is the answer to your problems, right? And Daniel Snyder really wanted to and
then Rivera has to issue like an official statement that he did in fact want Carson Wentz. Pathetic.
It certainly seemed more of the issue. And by the way, the Eagles aren't much better in this area, but they weren't attractive enough to land the top quarterbacks who were available. Well, at least Russell Wilson, who they were interested in. Report came out they were interested in Jimmy Garoppolo, who then had shoulder surgery. They were interested a year ago in Matthew Stafford. They couldn't land Stafford then. So I don't think they went into this offseason with like Carson Wentz or bust. It was kind of it was what was left after the other options on there went off the board.
Yeah, but they were also like too aggressive.
Sure.
Like they could have waited on Carson Wentz. Those guys were off the table, but they were still way too aggressive in not waiting out the market. I mean, Baker Mayfield's been terrible, for instance, but they could have got him for nothing, or they could have got Garoppolo probably in the summer for less than they gave Carson Wentz. So, just a poorly run organization every step of the way at every level.
Agree with that.
Okay. All right, Zach. Before we get into some of the matchups and some of the Crow on Enemies stuff here, anything from the locker room the past couple of days? Our podcast yesterday was before we talked to Jalen Hurts. Anything that he said that sort of jumped out to you?
That he jumped. So, I mean, Jalen's not too revealing.
There was one little thing that
what I found interesting was
interest. Got those reporters rabbit ears up.
So he
tail wagging.
So he said after the game, if you recall, that I don't want to misquote him here. He doesn't like hearing about 5-0. He certainly likes being. He certainly likes being 5-0. He doesn't like hearing about 5-0, right? And I was kind of I was trying to dig further into this concept. And one thing he says that he didn't say he struggles with it, but that he has to kind of battle with or remind himself is to appreciate the wins, recognizing it's a cliche that it's hard to win in the NFL, but it is hard to win in the NFL, right? I think Marissa sees this up close every week, right?
Marissa right now has her Matumbo on. She is knocking out these hot girls here sex posters in the chat. She's doing a fantastic job. She's
gone.
Yeah. So what Jalen Hurts says
not on my watch
is essentially this is something that he needs to. It's something like he almost battles with because his mindset is enough is never enough was the phrase he used, like to never be satisfied. But then on the flip side, like enjoy a win. It is hard to win in some of these games here. It takes a lot to come out of that on the winning side. So I thought that was at least like a human moment from Hurts, right? It shows that there's everyone kind of has internal conflicts that they're dealing with. That's not like a major internal conflict, but that is, I thought that was an interesting admission. Certainly Jason Peters' quotes down in Dallas got a lot of attention. We can discuss that. You were in on Jason Kelce today. Jason Kelce is so thoughtful, and I thought the response that he gave about about Jason Peters was interesting. You can get to that.
Yeah, I mean, he had a very long pause because, Jason Kelce is very aware of the fact that like what he says is going to make the rounds. And so he knows that like what he says about Jason Peters is like what's going to be the thing that people play about Jason Peters. And he obviously has a world of respect for the guy. And so he's trying to give him the respect that he deserves. And so he took like a long time to think about it. And his message was was basically twofold. One is that Peters had and has the best like feel for the game of anyone he's ever been around. And sometimes that's like noticing that like a defensive lineman's got like one foot in front of the other or something like that, and knowing what that's going to mean. Or sometimes it's like just like scouting the opposition. Like the story he told was that your boy, proto Josh Sweat, Daniil Hunter, was like, a few games into his career, or at least a few games into his breakout season, and everybody's talking about Everson Griffin, and they're watching Everson Griffin on the tape, and then like 3 plays in, Jason Peters is like, oh, watch out for that other guy. Like he's the one to be worried about. And that like the marriage of like the very technical precision of offensive linemen with that feel is what made him amazing, aside from the athletic ability. And then in terms of personality, it was interesting because he contrasted it to like what coaches think. He said like Jason cared much more about what matters in the locker room and what matters with teammates than he did about like what coaches think matters, which is, like, I don't know, practice hard or, whatever it is that like hard ass coaches sometimes are too aggressive about. And, we've always heard the stories of and seen up close and personal that like Peters was always after practice working with the like bottom of the roster developmental tackles, but stuff like that. And also like just as a teammate, the things that Kelce brought up were like if a guy's car breaks down,
exactly.
Peters is like, okay, well, what kind of sound is it making? Like you this or that, like I got a guy for you, all this stuff. And so it goes back to sort of we've both written about Jason Peters in the past. I had a thing about sort of like the most interesting man in the world. Like he's got all these different personalities, and everybody's got their own Jason Peters story. And he does, he was like, and is, I think, just like a Hall of Fame teammate, in addition to as good of a player as he is.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because I was actually going to reference that story that you had, because one thing that still lingers with me about that story, that I still recall about that story, is Jason Peters helping some of these players with their finances, right, when they come into the league. Yes. and what plan to pick. And right. I pointed out as a way of saying that sometimes coaches, and certainly us in the media, and sometimes fans, like, can get hunkered down on, all right, what was the player thinking on this play on second down in the third quarter of the game, where like these guys have real human things going on in their lives that often go beyond what's happening on that second down in the third quarter of the game.
Right. Like financial literacy at 22, 23 years old. Like, I wouldn't know what to do with my money. I still don't know. I still have no financial
28.
literacy.
We don't know.
Yeah. No, but like things like,
thank God for my brother-in-law.
The same things that all of us deal with on certainly, your car's making a funny sound, like you said, what do you do about it? You're in a different city, right? If you're trying to figure out what health plan to pick, or something for your family, or where to send your kids to school, or you're trying to deal with a realtor, or all types of things. You're electing certain things in your taxes, like their deal. And so I've heard stories, and you wrote this about Jason Peters really helping guys out with that side of the NFL. And I don't want to speak for Marissa, but like, I imagine that's something that players deal with that probably doesn't get enough attention, because we're so focused on what happens on that second down in the third quarter.
And Kelce said, just like, and I thought this was exactly right, like the presence that he had in the building, like everywhere Jason Peters goes, he's the coolest person there. Like he's the biggest person. He's the one who's everybody's like, wow, that's Jason Peters. And this is like, it's sort of a joke, but the Super Bowl's over. They win the Super Bowl. They're going to the party. And who's the one guy who carries the Lombardi trophy from the locker room to the bus to go to the party? He wasn't even playing in the game. He was injured. It's Jason Peters. Yeah. Like he was the guy. He's the one who has the gravitas to walk into the coach's office and say, "I'm not playing left tackle until you give me my money." CTC.
And it worked. Yeah. It worked. I can learn from him, right? No, that's a joke. But no, other than that, speaking of Lane Johnson,
do we think he's going to play in this game? I know he's returned to practice.
Yeah,
is he
I've been reading about this chest
gonna,
injury, but it certainly sounds like he could be out there. So
but does he step right in, or is it who's it? Is it Connor McGovern or it's the other Connor?
Connor McGovern's on the Jets.
Okay.
So it's
there are two Connor McGoverns, I believe. Right?
Oh, there's Connor Hughes. Let's pull it up.
Connor McGovern.
Yeah. There's a Connor McGovern on the Cowboys.
There's two. Yep.
Yeah. There's the one that went to Penn State and the one that went to Missouri. If
that's
my
like
memory serves.
really.
I mean, that's annoying, is what.
Yeah.
That is. Like,
how do you think they Google themselves? Name. Like that's like terrible.
Is that something players do?
Michael texted, "Yes, McGovern." I'm probably gonna get scolded that I didn't know there were two.
Because he knows that's a job that he could do better. That's what.
Yeah, gosh, I should have known.
But yeah, so I imagine
go over the rosters later tonight.
How did Michael feel about the Colts?
He thought it was funny. I sent him I sent him a screenshot of it and I got LOL back.
Nice. Well, I'll take it.
Yeah.
I imagine McGovern's gonna be playing left guard.
Okay.
So we'll do that. So I was speaking to Lane Johnson today, and because I've gone back and watched a number of Parsons snaps, and he lines up all over the place, right? He had the strip sack at the end of the game the other night from over the right tackle, had a strip sack over the left tackle. Oh, I'm sorry, had another sack over the left tackle. And you go back to that Tampa game when he had 2 sacks, he was feasting on the backup left tackle there. Donovan Smith went out. But Lane Johnson says he actually prefers to rush from over the right tackle, but they move them all around in the spinner role. Something, and when we get into the matchup, we can discuss this, but you and I were both asking Jason Kelsey about the stunts in the games that the Cowboys run, as opposed to blitzing. But what's interesting, and I thought Kelsey pointed this out and Lane Johnson talked about it too, is that teams might be less apt to do that when you have a mobile quarterback, right? So something to when you're facing a mobile quarterback, that
opens up the rushing lanes.
Yeah. So curious to see. For full disclosure here, my video is behind, so I actually don't see you guys speaking. So I'm gonna jump out at the break.
For our audio listeners, Bo is just moving his mouth, pretending that he's speaking.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All right. I'm on a delay because I just saw Bo moving his mouth.
But he's not saying anything.
Yeah.
He's just
so the Micah Parsons pick is a fascinating one to me. It's something that I'm exploring a little more, but I thought Sirianni had a good answer. I asked Sirianni how they were going to plan on or how they envisioned Parsons playing in the NFL. And he kind of gave an answer that he was just lobbying for them to get Devontae. He wasn't really thinking about that. So
basically,
yeah. So those were a few nuggets from the locker room.
Okay. I think quickly on the matchup, because I don't want to keep Deniz waiting too long. We talked about it with Nate yesterday. It does really feel like, he's hopping out. All right.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Okay. It does feel like the headline of this matchup is the Eagles offensive line against the Cowboys defensive line, or at least their pass rush. But I also think what is Trayvon Diggs going to do? Is he going to follow AJ Brown? He didn't follow Cooper Kupp last week. He did go inside in the slot on a few occasions, but he didn't follow him across the field. I don't think that who is it? Jordan Lewis is their other corner, or Anthony Brown and Jordan Lewis. I don't think those guys are necessarily up to the challenge of shutting down whoever the non-Trayvon Diggs guy is. So if there's time for Jalen Hurts, I feel pretty confident that they'll be able to throw the ball. But if Micah Parsons can wreck a game, we'll see what happens. So like, is Jordan Mailata healthy? Is like, how hampered is he at left tackle? He did practice today, as you said, Zach. So I think that's the expectation that he'll play. But is a 60% Jordan Mailata good enough against this Cowboys front with all those games? Is an injured Landon Dickerson, an injured Jason Kelce, and banged up Isaac Seumalo, like, are they at full ability? Or is this a matchup where, despite the fact that we think of the Eagles as having the best offensive line in the league, where it could go sideways?
Yeah, so I'm curious to watch that, because Jordan Mailata, for as good as he is, and he's really good, obviously, I'm not breaking news here. I think he only allowed 3 or 3.5 sacks last year, but 2 of them were in that Carolina game to Hassan Reddick, who, at least from a physical perspective, is more comparable to Micah Parsons than a pass rusher they'll see on a given week. And even though Lane said that Parsons likes to rush over the right tackle, if they move him around, my guess is you don't want him to rush against Lane Johnson, who has not allowed a sack since 2020, who's playing at a really high level. You would try to get him on either the left side or maybe over a guard, than going against Johnson. And Johnson's had some epic matchups with DeMarcus Lawrence in the past. So it's real curious to see that component of it, because they do move Parsons around. But no, you bring up a really good point. And I think that I sound like a football guy saying this, but the lines of scrimmage
look like one too.
The lines of scrimmage are where this game's going to be determined, right? This is one where, like, if you're doing the NBC promo for the game, you shouldn't put up, well, I don't know if Cooper Rush is going to get a lot of eyeballs, but you shouldn't put up Jalen Hurts on one side and Cooper Rush on the other. They always put the quarterbacks up, maybe the marquee wide receiver. What you should do is you should put up, Lane Johnson.
You put up Jalen Hurts and you put up Micah Parsons. That's what you do.
I think you put up.
I'm pretty sure I put up Jalen Hurts and Cooper Rush in this YouTube graphic. So
God, Marissa, I am so sorry. I am so sorry, Marissa. Well, no, that is a wonderful thing to do.
Wow,
you're a better marketer than I am.
Wow, I guess that's why I don't work for NBC.
No, NBC's probably doing
I'm
the
just
same.
kidding,
So,
Zach.
yeah. No, I was
not
trying
a football
to
girl.
No, I was saying that
I'm
is one.
Totally kidding.
This is one where you put the Eagles defensive line and you put the Cowboys pass rushers, because that's the matchup of the game.
Yeah.
Well, and just to quickly on the other side, we can get into it in the Crystal Ball Eagle, but I just find it hard to believe. I know maybe people have doubted Cooper Rush before, but they've gotten so many turnovers from their defense and so many like actual points from their defense. Aside from things like that, I find it hard to see that offense having really sustained success against the Eagles defense. And this is the best defense that they have faced. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think a big variable to this game, and I was kind of trying to not go too deep into the matchup now, because I know we're going to circle back to it. But if we are, is you look at the effectiveness of this Cowboys defense, and they're really good. You can't take anything away from them there. Although I know Deniz will say they're not the 85 Bears, but the quarterbacks that they faced have not been particularly mobile, other than Daniel Jones, who had, I think, 9 carries for 70+ yards against them. But Tom Brady and Matthew Stafford, Carson Wentz, who am I missing? Who's the one other game in there?
Joe Burrow?
Yes, Joe Burrow. Thank you. Yeah, and Burrow did have, I think, 15 yards rushing in that game, maybe, but they're not changing the structure of the defense with the way they run. And like I said, Daniel Jones ran well against them. So curious to see how this will look with a quarterback like Hurts, who runs, number one. And then number two, I don't expect this to be a heavy drop back game for the Eagles. Okay. I expect this to be obviously runs, RPOs, maybe, you get Hurts on the move, but I don't think Hurts is going to be sitting in the pocket for these guys to just come and sack him, right? He's going to be quick to throw or quick to move. So I think fundamentally they're going to be a different offense than what the Cowboys have faced, and the Cowboys rush defense is not particularly good, right? It's middle of the pack to like bottom third in the league. So that's why I think this is a different type of matchup. I don't think, and we'll get to the predictions later, I don't think the Eagles are going to be lights out in this game, but I also think this is a different offense than what the Cowboys have seen.
All right, well said. Why don't we take our break? Enough appetizer, enough prologue. Let's get to the main event. Let's bring on Deniz after this break. A nice word from our sponsors.
I'm one of those people who drinks a lot of coffee. I'm recording this ad as I have my coffee in my right hand. It's ubiquitous. It's what gets us through the day. And all I know is when my coffee tastes good, well, usually it's from Trade Coffee. The coffee I get from Trade is so good, I can't believe how much I like it. And this is what they picked out for me. They did their special Birds with Friends Bo Wulf collection. Not a joke. And their team actually worked with me to create this custom collection. And it's great because I'm telling you, again, nonstop. The day starts, where's my coffee? How am I going to get started? You need it. And if it's not just, bland grocery store coffee that's got that sort of, like tinny aftertaste, and it's like something that's actually good, woo, an even better day. And if I got if my collection, what I got isn't up your alley, well, don't worry. Trade will have whatever it is you want. You can shop their most popular coffees by roast or flavor profile, or you can take their coffee quiz and get expertly matched with coffees you'll love. Trade is the easiest way to get your very best tasting coffee delivered fresh when you need it. So, if you want to support small businesses and brew the best coffee you've ever made at home, it's time to try Trade Coffee. Right now, Trade is offering our listeners a total of $30 off your first order plus free shipping at drinktrade.com/BWF. That's drinktrade.com/BWF for $30 off your subscription to the best coffees in the country.
Now, our next partner is a pretty cool product. Let's talk about Athletic Greens. If you're looking to get better gut health, more energy, or a stronger immune system in a really easy, natural way, you've got to check out Athletic Greens. I'm sure you'll all agree that most of us are not huge fans of having to take a bunch of pills or vitamins in the morning. But with Athletic Greens, you can get rid of all those extra vitamin bottles and finally make some room in your cabinet. Athletic Greens is an all-in-one solution that actually tastes good. You'll really enjoy getting your daily vitamins. What is this stuff? Well, with one delicious scoop of Athletic Greens, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start your day right. This special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, and aging. All of these things. It's lifestyle friendly whether you eat keto, paleo, vegan, dairy-free, or gluten-free. It contains less than 1 gram of sugar, no GMOs, no nasty chemicals or artificial anything, while still tasting good, and it supports better sleep quality and recovery. That's important for me. Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition, especially heading in the flu and cold season. It's just one scoop in a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/birds. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/birds to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance.
All right, we are back on Birds with Friends. Bo, Zach, and Marissa, and we welcome now the king of the Denizens. Ladies and gentlemen, Deniz, how are you, sir?
Good, how are you guys? Thanks for having me on again.
Anytime
Thanks for coming.
you want. Now, you stay in your respective corners.
All right, so I said this before Bo came on earlier. And I certainly don't appreciate that it's been cast as like myself versus Deniz, because I respect him, I appreciate him, I admire his intelligence. One's allowed to disagree without being disagreeable, right? So I certainly I don't like when and you do the same thing with Coach Flynn. And Marissa says I need to embrace the entertainment value of it, and I get that. But from I want the record to show that I have great respect for Professor Selman.
Oh, I know you're just trying to soften me up, Zach. I mean, this is. I'm glad your strategic ways are better at this than they are at Swooper.
Look, with the way Jonathan Gannon is coaching, I don't need to soften you up. Okay. Okay. The performance speaks for itself.
Wow.
You're expecting an apology? Is that?
Oh wow, an apology.
Look, the Gannon Appreciation Society, we met earlier, and we determined what the appropriate response from Professor Selman would be.
I see. I mean, I'm thrilled that the defense is playing better. Like I said last time, I'm a fan, and I was hoping that I would be wrong about Gannon. And it's been 5 weeks. Some of the numbers are looking really good. Obviously, the team looks a lot better on the field. We're going to see. I don't know when we're going to see against good teams, like how it works. It might not be until January. And we talked about this last time too with the schedule, but it's looking good.
What were you
so
right
far.
about the schedule?
I am a little bit concerned about some things. I thought, like in the last game, some of the softer coverages and things like that started to look a little bit more like last year. Turnovers are a huge part right now of the reason the defense is looking good. And we know that turnovers, especially on defense, are not a sustainable stat over time. Eagles are first right now in forcing turnovers per drive. That's up from 25th last year. That's a huge jump, obviously, that kind of changes everything. But yeah, across the board, I mean, this defense was 20th in points per drive last year, 6th this year. 25th in DVOA last year, 5th this year. I mean, just better at literally like almost every single ranking stat you can find. The team's doing better. I mean, hitting the quarterback slightly better, but the adjusted sack percentage, 5th this year, up from 28th last year. All of these numbers are looking better. And the defense looks a little more normal. I mean, last year it blitzed, 31st in the league. This year it's 18th. It's middle of the pack. It just kind of looks like a more normal defense, which is nice to see. Like, to not be characterized as this soft defense that never blitzes and always plays cover 4, right? It's nice to change it up a little bit more and all that, and we're seeing that. So I'm happy with that.
Was sort of intimating this week that a majority of the defensive game plan last week was to try to corral the quarterback run game, Kyler Murray as a rusher, which was successful until basically the last 2 drives. And I guess I believe that. I think he was talking more about why they were so stuck on that sort of 5-1-5 package as opposed to really playing much nickel. But I'm willing to buy that as long as we don't see that against these next few teams.
Yeah, I mean, the 5-1-5. I mean, like the base defense, the 5-2, which they didn't play a single snap of this last week. But then there was a lot of 5-1-5. I think the biggest difference, and it's not being talked about enough, in my opinion, is that package existed last year. The problem is the team didn't have a nose tackle. And so Josh Sweat famously was playing the 4-eye. I made fun of McLean for talking about the 4-eye all the time, and I've now talked about it 2 straight times. I've been on. Josh Sweat playing in the 4-eye and then having
Jannard Avery
play the nose is very different than having 3 actual defensive tackles in there that discourage running inside and that make it easier to corral a running quarterback because the edges are just further out, right? Like, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. And I also think that TJ Edwards has been shockingly good. I mean, like I was not expecting, like if you told me there's going to be 5-1-5, I would have thought Kaiser White would be the guy playing in that one spot. But Kaiser White plays in dime, but he doesn't play in that 5-1-5, and I think TJ has been just like way better than I thought he could be.
So it's
ahead,
almost so overall, and I sound like Larry Karras here, but it's almost as if players matter, right? Like players, formations, plays. And this is not directed at Professor Selman. This is more at the overall sentiment toward Gannon last year. But I think a lot of what Jonathan was doing was to compensate for his personnel. Now, Sheil has made the point in the past, and it's a valid point, that a good defensive coordinator or a good coordinator or a good coach on any side is coaching above their talent. You don't want someone who's just coaching to their talent, and you certainly don't want someone who's coaching below their talent. But I think for what Gannon wanted, I think what Gannon was doing last year oftentimes was to make do with the personnel that he had, and with better personnel, he's able to coach better. He's able to have a matchup dependent defense, which he couldn't have last year.
Sure. I mean, if we're using things that Sheil says to support our arguments, Sheil also says that the defense's improvement this year is a Howie Roseman thing, and not
I don't know who you guys
Gannon
are talking about.
And
well, look,
and
if you have an opinion against Gannon, it seems that opinion cannot be moved. So
no,
that's
I'm
across
not.
the board.
He's moving.
No. My opinion
No,
can definitely
Sheil
be moved.
Yeah.
I thought that Jonathan Gannon was capable of messing up even this good defensive personnel group, and he has not messed it up so far. So that's great. And
there are some
there also that those overall metrics like EPA per play and success rate and all those things. If you take out the Lions game, which was the first game, they get way better. I mean, the Lions game was the worst game for EPA per play, worst game for rushing EPA, worst game for passing EPA, worst game for points, obviously, worst game for pretty much every stat. And so it is nice to see that there seems to be improvement. Now, how much of that is that Trevor Lawrence can't hold on to a wet ball for some reason and things like that? I mean, there's a lot of randomness. It's only been 5 games, right? So we have to wait and see.
Well, and to that point, I think what is maybe more telling than just the performance in terms of a strictly Gannon conversation, because we know, as you say, that the turnovers will regress to the mean at some point. He is coaching differently, right? Like you mentioned the blitz percentages as you have highlighted. Like the blitzing percentages on first and second down, especially, are much different than they were last year. He's sending big blitzes at a higher rate. He is coaching different in addition to having better players.
Yeah, for sure. I will say one thing about the blitzes on early downs when you're using these, like services to look up these numbers. They will call it a blitz when that entire 5-man line on a 5-1-5 all rushes. So that's there are some people who don't call that a blitz, right? And so you have to be a little bit careful when you're living in that 5-1-5. Your blitz numbers are just going to be inflated, and so there are teams that get very high blitz numbers, and you watch them and you're like, they don't look very aggressive, but it's just because those 5 guys are rushing and they're not particularly hard to block sometimes.
And that 5th guy is only rushing if the guy doesn't come out of the backfield. Like it's a
sometimes exactly.
Yeah,
so just have to be a little bit careful with that. So
someone told me this week that certain teams qualify their blitzes as 6 rushers and not 5 for that reason that you said.
Interesting. I mean, I know some people consider it a blitz if it's someone who's not on the line of scrimmage at the beginning, actually blitzes. So it's a little bit of a surprise or that kind of thing. But yeah.
Okay. Deniz, I would like to ground this podcast to a screeching halt, if you don't mind. I have a toucan you for you because of your mastery of the roster. This is,
by the way, Connor McGovern, guys. How do you not have a Dallas Cowboys depth chart that you made yourself?
I had it correct. It was right. We said
this
McGovern.
Is Dallas week.
It was me. I said I was thinking the Jets because I do the Jets podcast so I know everyone's going to be mad at me. I understand. I'll be better.
2 weeks ago, Peters and McGovern were doing the left guard rotation.
That's right.
Desperate attempts to be like the 2017 Eagles.
To recapture that's exactly right. One of my favorite bits of all time. All right. This is a Wolf's Den preview for you, Deniz.
Uh-oh.
The Eagles have more players on their active roster who have the word son, S-O-N, in either their first or last name than any other team in the league.
It's great podcasting. Yeah.
Can you name the 10 players on the active roster who have a son in their name? Almost 20%.
Wow.
That is a lot. So obviously,
you can imagine how enthralled the players were by this topic. Yes.
That's right.
So I need to. Landon Dickerson.
Correct.
Oh my God. Wait, what? There are 10?
There are 10. 8 last name, 2 first name.
2 first name? What?
Is it a little bit uncomfortable
Lane
when
Johnson,
somebody puts you on the spot?
So Lane Johnson.
Yes.
Kyron Johnson.
Correct.
Patrick Johnson.
Yes.
Okay, what are we up to? We're up to
That's 4. You've got 6 left.
You're forgetting one.
CJ Gardner-Johnson.
That's exactly right. Nice job, Marissa.
Okay, so that's 5. Wait, what? There are 5 more?
There are 5 more.
Oh no. Really? 2 first name? Oh my goodness, this is terrible podcasting.
Yeah, but it's nice. It's a little bit nice to have the foot on the other shoe.
Our listeners can be playing along at home. See if you guys can get them. You will kick yourself when you see these, Deniz.
Oh, I obviously know the entire roster and the entire practice squad by heart. It's just that, my brain has not compartmentalized them into sons and not.
Welcome to Birds with Friends.
Yeah.
This is what we do. Yes.
Wow. I'm guessing that none of the others are starters because I've already gone through the starters in my mind. I feel like
they're both first namers are starters.
Yeah.
Wait, what? No, I'm just like, no, that's just not true.
And probably 2 of the 5 best players on the team.
Okay. All right. Well, is the sun
it's not like I know these. I have a list up, so I'm not trying to sound arrogant. Like I know what we're doing here.
Yeah. No, that's Hassan Reddick. Okay.
Very nice. Yes.
All right. Okay. So that's one of the 2 starters. And then, did you say the other first name one is a starter?
Correct.
Dallas Son Goddard. Like what?
Close.
What?
Zach is left for the audio listeners. Zach has decided.
Good. Maybe. Okay.
So I had to sneeze, and I didn't. Yeah.
Okay. Would you like some hints?
Sure. I guess.
One of them, 2 of them are backup defensive linemen. One of them is a defensive back, and the other is an offensive lineman.
Zach McPherson is the defensive back.
Correct.
Offensive lineman on the active roster.
Probably the most famous player on the team.
Jason Kelsey. Okay. Yeah. Thanks. Okay. Son, Jason. Okay.
Yes.
All right. And
All
then
right. Both defensive ends.
2 backup defensive.
Yes. One
ends.
is like the newest guy on the team, who's like a name that only you will know.
Janarius Robinson. How can I forget? Sorry. Yes. Has not played, but not eligible for the Feely because he was not on the roster in week 1, as only you will know.
That's exactly right. And the other one is Teron Jackson.
Yeah. Okay, got it. Jackson. Yeah.
Wow.
For those aspiring podcasters at home, get a guest who's really smart, who has unique insight on the team, who can really enhance your podcast material. Then ask him an esoteric question that has nothing to do with his area of expertise.
Well, at least you got the last part right. But also, I'll say that it is fascinating. I think it's a fascinating psychological thing that like I definitely know,
right?
Like all 80 guys involved here, including Pop, IR, everything. And I could not come up with that. So.
Well, would you like to go for the 2 practice squatters and the guy on PUP? Because you've got Tyree Jackson, you've got Marvin Wilson, and you've got the newest guy that I'm not even sure Zach knows this guy's name, Roderick Johnson.
Oh, Roderick Johnson.
Of course,
I
know Roderick Johnson.
A lot of O-linemen.
Florida State offensive tackle.
Of course.
6'5", about 298, was with the Houston Texans. Come on.
Number 74, I believe.
Yeah. This
number
is
74 practice.
He's actually he's in the locker room a lot.
Yeah, he is.
Friendly guy. Says, he's not one who hides.
There's a lot of Johnsons. Oh my gosh.
Roderick Johnson isn't hiding from the media. Like he's willing to talk to you guys.
What's that? Roger?
I said Roderick Johnson's not hiding from the media during I'm a little surprised.
So I do this thing where I try to say hello to everybody who walks by. right? So they start to associate you, but you try not to, like, if a guy's walking back and forth a number of times, you don't want to. It's like saying God bless you to someone after like 8 sneezes in a row. You only need to do once, right? So I only need to hit them with the hello once. And Roderick Johnson's one of these guys who seems he's walking through like back and forth a lot. So I don't want to be like, "What's up, Roderick?" like 5 times in a row.
Maybe he's looking forward to those hellos. Maybe he continues to walk back and forth because he likes that from you.
But yeah, so I do that. Yes.
But I know you don't like it when people give you ideas for articles, but I was kind of hoping the Wolf's Den this week would be you talking to Auden Tate about how he had to give up his number 13 to Dicker the kicker. Like, what does it feel like to have been on the practice squad all year and then have to give up your number? He's now wearing 84. In case anyone didn't know that.
I'll be honest, that didn't cross my mind as a possibility for the Wolf's Den this week, but yeah, now I can promise you that I won't do that question.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
Instead, he had this great idea about interviewing the people who had "son" in their name, right? So that's why the New York Times purchased The Athletic. Yes,
that's why they're push notifying the power rankings for some reason. How about the offensive? How about the offensive side of the ball, Deniz? What sort of jumped out to you? What has you? What do you want to scream from the mountaintops to our listeners about what we've seen on offense so far?
Yeah, I don't know if you guys watched these JT O'Sullivan QB school videos.
I watched the Jalen Hurts one.
Yeah, he had one on Hurts a few weeks ago. I think it was after the third game, maybe.
That's right,
against Washington, and he was pointing out that there don't seem to be any like hot routes built into the offense, and I can't unsee it now. Like every time there's a pressure, it seems to be like it's like throwing a screen is the only way out of that, and it certainly was in the last game. There were 13 or 14 screens or something, and like only 6 of them I think were against blitzes. The rest of them were just like the box seems crowded, and so just throw it. I would love to see more of that, but we're nitpicking here. I mean, the offense is obviously doing really well. It's second in the league in avoiding turnovers, 6th in scoring, 5th in DVOA. I mean, it's looking really good, and I'm not surprised that it is. I thought it was very well designed last year, given the limited talent at wide receiver in particular. And I'm happy to see the way it's going. The stuff like AJ Brown not getting the ball for a game, like that's similar to Devontae Smith not getting it in week 1. Like I don't think that's really anything. Like how many the sample of normal drop back plays in that game were so small that
well, didn't you think it was a little bit odd that none of those 14 screens were to AJ Brown?
I can't believe AJ Brown isn't the guy who blocks on those. Like he's usually on the other side, and it's like Quez and Devontae blocking for each other.
And Quez, Quez is on the field so much, and he's
never so blocks. Bad at bubble blocks. Like I don't know, I'm sure it's hard to do. Like I don't want to sure. but I mean, it would seem like after those don't work a few times, and they didn't work much last year, that you might. I don't know. Like AJ Brown seems like a big dude who can block a guy.
Or Zach Pascal. Like I mean,
yeah,
we haven't
Zach
seen much
good
of
at it. He had a really good block on Isaiah Simmons, Zach's favorite player, who frankly isn't good at anything. Like it's really funny to watch him on film, and like I don't watch college football, so these
that's unfair. He's at least a little fast.
What I watch these guys. I mean, Kyler Murray is an example of this too. This is like a little bit of a hot take by me, but I think people think this guy's good because they saw him in college. Like because as someone who only watches the NFL, it's like I don't see it. But I
mean, they were.
Zach Pascal had a great block on Isaiah Simmons.
So, weren't they 7-0 last year? The Cardinals.
Well, that's why somebody might draw a comparison between.
But I'm saying, it's
the
not
Cardinals
like
last year. The Cardinals last year are a good warning sign for what the beginning of the season can mean. I think it's good that I don't think Kyler Murray after every game last year was saying that wasn't up to his standard and coming to practice early the next morning and things like that. I think things are a little different.
True. That's true.
All right. Do you want to take a break before Swooper, or should we just get right into it?
It's
let's get into we've got.
Is there anything more from the defense? Like, is that really all we're?
Oh, Zach wants more. He wants more groveling.
I just no. It's
I think
not
I think use of personnel. Like, I think Jordan Davis has been huge. He plays as the nose tackle on almost every single one of those.
He does not play in 4-man fronts. He does
very few. He's played a handful. I think single-digit snaps on the season in nickel, and
64% of his snaps have come on first downs. So, like, he's very much being used the way he was used.
Well, they don't do the 5-1-5 on obvious passing downs. Which basically means, and I know Kelsey was talking today a little bit about how he has some new pass rush moves and stuff, but that's clearly not something that they want him on the field for yet. I think that having a real nose tackle makes so much more sense. And then having the Sam linebacker be Hassan Reddick instead of Jannard Avery, obviously, when you have the guy who's leading Brandon Thorne's pass rushing rankings, tied with Micah Parsons for first place in the league, when you have that guy playing there instead of Jannard Avery, who they didn't like him pass rushing enough to even have him do it very much, it just makes a huge difference in what that package makes an offense think about, right? And I think that's been great. And that's obviously good use of personnel. The one thing that still annoys me is there's off coverage on short to go downs, whether it's second or third down a lot. It'll be like cover 3 and both corners will be playing off. And the only thing that prevents those from just being automatic first downs is that teams don't always take what's given to them. But that's always there. And I think that when you play the Tom Brady's of the world, they will take that every time. Tom Brady threw a bunch of zero routes at this team in the playoffs last year, and they all turned into first downs because you're just playing off. And I think you've got Slay, you've got James Bradbury. Obviously, these guys are very good in coverage. Use them. You know what I mean? Don't be worried that they're not going to be able to cover guys. Especially against a team like Arizona. I mean, the guys you're covering AJ Green. I think it's important to.
Yeah, I think I still think a lot of that has to do with their proclivity to, or their preference rather, the emphasis on avoiding explosive plays. I'm just looking at my explosive play charts. The opponents had 9 the first week. A big part of that was those big runs. 4 the second week, 5 the third week, 4 the fourth week, and then 8 last week, right? So that's kind of philosophically the way they're going to be structured. I agree with you regarding the off coverage. The big thing, and I know this is nitpicking because you're talking about your backup defensive line, but we talked about Jordan Davis's usage, and I got to think at some point here, Jordan Davis needs to be the better option than either Milton Williams or Marlon T. When they rotate those guys in. It seems to me that they're really trying to hold him back from a playing time perspective, maybe because of conditioning or something like that. But I want to see what he looks like rushing the quarterback instead of Marlon or instead of Milton, because I don't think they're getting enough from that group to justify not having a first-round pick on the field.
Yeah,
I think the list of players who have had a disappointing season for the Eagles is very short, and I think Milton Williams is probably the top of that list.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up if you guys didn't. I was so excited about him based on the end of last year. In particular, I thought for a rookie, he was so good at reading stuff and seeing that the play was going to go the other way and things like that. He had TFLs in a lot of those games late in the season because he could read what was happening. He has been invisible. I mean, he's been playing totally the same number of snaps and is just invisible. So, not good. Real quick thing to quote: the Eagles defense this year is 3rd in DVOA in 3rd and 4th and long, and 28th in 3rd and 4th and short. So obviously everyone's better in 3rd and long than 3rd and short, but this is ranking against other teams in the league, right? So, and I think that's a little bit of a function of the off coverage.
Yeah, the big thing that jumps out to me is 25th in the league in third down percentage. On defense, that's not good enough, 45%. But I think they're 2nd in the league in 3 and out percentage, right? So you might have had this point a few weeks ago that it's like either they force you off the field right away.
They did that last year too.
Yeah,
right?
or they let you drive all the way down.
Third in the league last year for the season in 3-and-out percentage. It was the only relevant stat that they were good at.
Yeah,
like,
so
literally once you get the first down, it was like an open invitation to the end zone.
Yeah.
But like
yeah. So that's something that I'm really paying attention to in this game because my guess is the big emphasis is going to be get the Cowboys to third down. Cowboys are a bad third down team, 29th in the league in third down percentage.
And third and long, and that's exactly why you do want to see some blitzes on first and second down to get them into.
Exactly.
And we talked about this last year. The Eagles were 23rd last year in even getting to third down, like not giving up a first down in the first two downs. They are 11th in that this year and 16th in series conversion rate overall, which is just normal, which is fine. Like, honestly, like, I don't think this team needs the defense to be the 85 Bears either, just like Dallas isn't. But I think that it is important for them to just not be terrible at very basic things like getting to third down and getting off the field on third and short and those kinds of things. And so, the second thing still needs improvement. 52 defensive drives by the Eagles this year. 26 of them have ended in either 3-and-outs or turnovers. That's 50%. That's league high. If you can do that all year, that's great. I will celebrate Johnny Gans if that's maintained. I'm just Trevor Lawrence isn't going to be dropping a wet ball every game that many times though. So.
Well, I do, just as Deniz wants you to, or Zach wants you to respond to Gannon. I feel like it's also time for you to respond to Zach and his like accusations of unfairness at you on the Swooper front. What do you take any affronts to the way that Zach has accused you of denigrating the purpose of the game?
Well, this is where my professional career overlaps with my Swooper work. I'm very used to students thinking it's my fault that they didn't learn and aren't very good at the thing that I'm teaching them. Like it's like, oh, I thought the exam was unfair. Well, all the other students did well on the exam. I'm like the rules are the same for all three players.
Wait, excuse me here.
Two of them are laughing and having a great time every week, and one of them is sitting there sulking. Saying that he's not even going to play, calling what I'm doing BS, saying that I'm ruining the game. Hey, by the way, there have been 22 items to hit this year, okay? 9 of them were submitted by me. Do you know how many Zach submitted that actually hit? 3, okay? This isn't like the 1980s NFC East where we're going to have these knockdown, drag-out 7-3 games. Like, the fans want to see the scoreboard light up. Like, Zach, what do you think the game should be? You just submit a bunch of things that aren't going to happen, have people bid on them for no reason? I mean, come on.
Okay, so respectful here. I never said it was unfair. You can go back on the tape. You can go back on the tape. That is misquoting me here. I simply, and this is not, you are doing your job. You're doing what Bo tasked you to do.
I didn't task him to do anything. It was an open invitation for him to ruin our lives.
My point is that if there are if the purpose of Swooper is a mechanism to discuss the game, it's a way to creatively discuss the game.
But is it?
Well, now it's so.
Thank you, Marissa.
So there's nothing that's unfair about it. I'm just saying that I think it defeats the purpose of Swooper if we don't have turkeys to allocate to the items. That was my only.
Well, then don't risk
and
your
yet
turkeys.
Somehow you're the only one without turkeys usually, Zach.
So,
like how does that happen?
So by the way,
and Bo didn't have any issues.
And you also you mischaracterized it before by saying that I purposefully wanted to sit out 4 of the items each week.
You said that you did.
You
say
literally
that.
said you're going to take your AirPods out.
Yes.
Before the question was even read.
I said I'm going to sit out any of them which I can lose turkeys.
No. You said you were sitting on all Deniz ones.
Yeah,
you did say that.
And
yes.
you should catch on to the pattern by now. One of my items is usually a weird option. The other two have just been normal things, and you've been sitting those out too. So I don't.
All right. Let's get to it.
All right. Well, Deniz, since you're here, should we have you go first?
No.
Should we take our second break first?
Oh yeah, let's take our second break.
Yeah.
We'll everybody regroup, go to your respective corners, figure out your strategies for tonight. We'll come back with Swooper.
Okay.
Fall is chaos in your pants. You're overheating 1 second, freezing the next. To be ready for anything, you need underwear that can handle everything. It's time for Tommy John underwear. In Tommy John underwear, you are that much more comfortable, so you can do everything better. Name a problem with other underwear, and Tommy John's solved it. Tommy John's breathable, lightweight fabric has 4 times the stretch of competing brands. They come with a no wedgie guarantee, thanks to a non-rolling waistband and legs that never ride up. Plus, they feature a horizontal quick draw fly. And Tommy John loungewear is guaranteed to fit perfectly with comfy, non-piling micro-module fabric, meaning no lint balls or fuzz, into luxuriously soft tri-blend fabric with flexible 4-way stretch. With over 17 million pairs sold, people love Tommy John underwear and loungewear, and that's why Tommy John doesn't have customers. They have fanatics. And listen, all of this sounds like, inside baseball mumbo jumbo about the underwear. But I'll tell you this is true. Tommy John's sent me a little sample, put it on once, was comfortable enough that when I was packing for my trip to Arizona, I saved the Tommy John underwear to be the last, to be the one that I could wear on the red eye back. Okay, so you're going to be on an uncomfortable plane. You need some sort of thing to make you feel a little bit comfortable. You know what I did? I saved my Tommy John just for that, and it worked out well. I feel like that's as big of a endorsement as I could possibly give. So go to TommyJohn.com/athletic right now for 25% off loungewear and sleepwear. 25% off loungewear and sleepwear at TommyJohn.com/athletic. TommyJohn.com/athletic. See site for full details.
Football season is so busy in our house, and the last thing I want to do is go to the grocery store. That's where Freshly comes in. Freshly's got lunch and dinner covered, with fresh-made meals delivered right to your door. And now, for a limited time, you can unlock exclusive end-of-summer savings and get $125 off across your first 5 orders. Freshly is so great because I don't have to worry about eating healthy and nutritious meals. They're delivered directly to my door, in between pods or going to games. It's perfect for my crazy schedule this time of year. Get delicious, nutritious, prepared meals delivered right to your door. Fresh, not frozen, and ready to enjoy in just 3 minutes. No cooking, no dishes, no trip to the store. How awesome! Freshly fits in your lifestyle with plans tailored to every dietary preference. Choose from our signature collections or try their many gluten-free, obviously my favorite, dairy-free, plant-based, carb-smart, and calorie-conscious menus. Always perfectly portioned whether you're shopping for one or a whole family. Skip the grocery store and dirty dishes without relying on frozen dinners or takeout. Meals arrive fresh every week, so there's always something new to try. And now you can try Freshly and unlock huge savings across your first 5 orders. Having one less thing on your plate never tasted so good. Take advantage of Freshly's sale and score a special deal, $125 off your first 5 orders at freshly.com/birds when you order today. That's freshly.com/birds. Freshly.com/birds for $125 off your first 5 orders.
All right. Back on Birds with Friends, Bo, Zach, Marissa, and Deniz, as we prepare for Swooper Soarcasting. You are listening to the far and away leader in Swooper Soarcasting on the air. 5 points for me, 0 points for Marissa and Zach, I would still be way out front in the old scoring system, as Deniz has pointed out.
Not way out front.
Way
Not this out front.
You would be ahead by 2 instead of 5, which would obviously have made the season more exciting.
Yeah.
Well, if Marissa had won, or Zach had won, then they could complain. So, Marissa has the most turkeys to carry over this week. She has 7, so she will have 31 with which to bid. Zach will have 25. I will have 26. Of course, we are bidding on outcomes that we will see if they happen on Sunday night. You get a point if it happens. It'd be weird if you're listening this far into the episode and you didn't already know the rules. Zach, would you like to go first?
Whatever you want.
Zach, you may go first.
Okay.
You're already sulking?
I'm not sulking at all. This is not sulking. I'm
Okay.
serious. I'm holding serve, if you will. Right?
Okay.
Jordan Davis gets more snaps than the Cowboys have running plays.
Did you
Good
steal that
one.
one from the chat? Because that was very close to one written in the chat.
I did not.
It's okay.
I did not.
I won't do that one. Yeah, that's a good one.
2.
3.
4.
5. 5 going once. 5 going twice.
6.
6 going once.
I'm out.
6 going twice. You get it, Zach.
Okay.
I think you're going to get that.
How many snaps did he have last week, Zach?
28 was it? Last week?
Ooh, yeah, they're not going to run the ball that many times. But they need more plays. Cardinals ran a lot of plays. All right. I'll go next. Davis snaps.
He played that many snaps last week because of all those 5-1-5, right?
Yeah.
And so the question is, like, they also run that a lot this week to stop the run or not, right? So we'll see.
He played 29. He officially played 29 snaps.
Let's go. We got to clarify this. Are we doing
this is the
true
NFL
media?
Jesus. No, this is NFL
Jesus
Jesus.
snaps?
NFL
Okay.
Jesus. Yep.
Okay.
And what if it's a
Well,
tie?
you
It's
guys
more
with
than-
your fancy True Media logins that I'm very jealous of. You know, I know Zach's birthday. I know where he went on his honeymoon. I've been trying to guess his True Media login for the last 2 weeks, and it just keeps giving me.
You know at least one of his children's names.
I know his wife's name.
Why only one of his children?
I don't know if we've said, have we said
We
your
said
daughter's
Sloan.
name?
Yeah, my daughter's
Rita
Sloan.
Sloan. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's the missing link then.
This gets me very worried here. Okay? This is why I don't like to share personal information.
Okay.
I haven't gotten it yet, Zach. Don't worry.
I'll go next, Marissa. A defensive or special teams touchdown is scored in the game by either team.
1.
I'll say 2.
3.
3 going once. 4. The Davis one is so much more likely than this, but 4 going
out.
once.
I'm out.
4 going twice. Sold to the handsome man who leads the game.
Deniz, how do you
Trayvon
feel
Diggs
about that one?
Trayvon Diggs had a pick 6 week 3 last year on a ball intended for Devontae Smith in cover 3. I was looking at my notes.
It's good. We need this color. This is good. Marissa, you're up.
Okay.
It's good when you talk about the game in Swooper. I agree.
I'm just trying to get like live analysis so I know like going forward how Deniz is feeling. Hopefully it will help me out a little bit. All right. My pick is DeMarcus Lawrence and Micah Parsons will combine for less than 1.5 sacks.
Fewer.
Fewer than. Sorry. That's how it was written in the chat. I'm really bad at that.
Marissa, don't worry.
AP style stuff.
There was a little peek behind the curtains. Zach and I are writing a round table we're participating in, and somebody, whoever wrote the prompt questions, had a fewer mistake, and I went and corrected it. What are we doing here? It's a professional journalism outfit. Come on.
I would be so worried to touch someone else's copy. That's funny.
Lawrence and Micah Parsons combined for fewer than 1.5 sacks.
1.5. Yep.
2.
Okay.
3.
4.
5.
6.
For context, last year, Parsons only played the first game against the Eagles, had a half a sack, and had, I believe, 4 quarterback hits in that game, or 4 pressures. And I don't believe Lawrence was healthy for that game. Is that correct?
Sounds right.
In that week 3
I
game.
think, I
part
think
of the year
that's right.
last year. Yeah.
So we're at
Parsons
6.
has 6 sacks this year. Lawrence has 3.
Yeah, he missed a good portion of the year last
And
year. Right?
and each of all of Parsons his sacks have come in double-digit sack games. He has 3 2-sack games this year.
Multiple sack games.
Yes.
I was going to leave that one, but
I mean, that would be a nightmare. If we see a double-digit sack game, it will not be a fun night.
3 2. I said 3 2-sack games.
you said double digits, but
Okay.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
We understood what you meant.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
I
I was at 6?
Yeah, I don't know. One of you was at 6. Was it you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Marissa was at 6.
6 going once.
I'll go 7.
Oof. I'll go 8.
That's why you get excess turkeys, right? Because you can be aggressive. I credit your strategy last week for helping you this week.
Well, I had too many left over last week, and I was disappointed. I went far into the bidding after watching the tape, and then I didn't get them, and then I left with too many. So
And last week
going
was
once?
33%, or was 3. Yeah, so
exactly.
8
Last
going
week was
twice?
to use them.
It's Marissa's.
Sold.
Okay.
Well, you did know that I wasn't going to jump in.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Here we go.
I'm nervous.
All right. So this is item number 4. And you might remember this auction type from last year's Tampa Bay playoff game. You have not been able to, we haven't been able to do this year because you kind of need an auctioneer to do it, who isn't one of the bidders. And so I was kind of waiting for an opportunity to be the auctioneer. And here we go. This is going to be a Dutch auction. This is the famous when Zach yelled swooper last year. It's that kind of auction where I'm going to start with the number of turkeys who the person with the most turkeys has. So that's 23, right?
Mhm.
Correct.
Marissa has 23.
23 for Marissa.
Okay, so I'm going to start at 23, and I'm going to say 23, 22, 21, 20 at about that speed. Okay, 19, 18. And then whoever yells swooper gets the item for whatever the last number I said was. Okay?
Okay.
The item is the Eagles defense forces 2 or more turnovers. The context, the Eagles defense is first in the league at forcing turnovers per drive, have forced 11 total on the year, so a little bit more than 2 a game. The Dallas offense is first in the league at avoiding turnovers. They have only committed 2 turnovers on the season. So I'm basically saying they're going to commit 2 or more this game. They've only committed 2 on the year. So that's the item. The Eagles defense forces 2 or more turnovers.
We're not counting turnovers on downs.
No turnovers on downs and no special teams turnovers. The Eagles defense has to be getting the turnovers. Yeah, no, turnover on downs doesn't count. Yeah.
Everybody ready?
Yep.
Okay, everyone ready? I'm going to start at 23. Whoever says swooper first.
Oh man, this is such dramatic tension. This is great. Now this is the opposite. This is great podcasting.
Gets the item. Okay, we ready?
Uh-huh.
And then that person pays whatever number I said last, and Zach also pays that many. Okay, so that's
I was
okay.
just going to say that.
Oh, that was a joke. Okay. You got my heart started beating.
Okay,
fast.
all right. Okay, no, yeah. All right, ready? 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
Swooper.
Zach got it.
That was me.
Zach got it? No way.
No way.
Absolutely. Come on.
You
way.
heard Zach say it first. I mean, I don't know what because
Well,
I'm
you're
assuming I'm on the
famously in
same
the tank
delay
for
with all
Zach.
of you, so I'm probably the best judge, right? Sorry, Marissa.
That's okay. I'll give it to Zach. Wow.
Okay.
I just can't
That
wait
was
to
fun.
to
I
punch
intentionally
that
did
off.
one that isn't that good because I wanted it to go a little longer.
That's interesting. That's funny that we all had 6 as our number.
Wait, you did too, Bo? You just,
Yeah.
Oh,
You all
said it?
yelled. You all yelled.
We all-
Swooper. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
that's
didn't
great.
even. I was just focused on getting it
Oh
in
man,
there.
I really thought I
Yeah.
had it too.
That'll be a good drop once you guys work on the Swooper theme song. You can have
Yes.
like all three
I
of
will
you
work
yelling
on that this
Swooper at the
week.
same time as part of the
Yep.
song. Yeah.
Good
And
suggestion.
it'll also be interesting once you can. Marissa will be able to do some tricks on the audio front to make sure that on the track she does go first.
Oh,
Yeah.
she says it like 2 seconds before.
She's
you
gonna
guys-
edit it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then
It's-
and then if this is the difference in the game, I'm gonna
Yeah.
challenge the game, protest,
Yes.
call the league office.
It seems the commenters did hear me first.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay. All right, I'll give it to you, Zach. I'll be a good sport.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
All right, Zach, you get to put up the next bid.
Okay, the next
Zach
bid.
has 13 turkeys left. Marissa has 23. I have 22.
Okay, Cooper Rush has a better quarterback rating than Jalen Hurts.
1.
And for context here, Cooper Rush's quarterback rating in each game that he has started this year he's been pretty good in this area. He was 95.5 against Cincinnati, 98.2 against the Giants, 107.5 against Washington, and 80.7 last week against the Rams. And then Jalen Hurts, I have him here.
And
as
quarterback
well.
rating, of course, does not include rushing. So
Yes. Jalen
2.
Hurts' quarterback rating has been 89.9 last week, 72.8 the week before, 123.5 the week before, 108.7 the week before, 80.6 the week before.
you do mean passer rating, right? This is the
The QBR
yeah.
on ESPN.
not
I'm sorry.
QBR,
Not
but
QBR.
passer
Oh.
Yeah,
rating.
passer rating. Passer
Okay,
rating. Okay.
Just throw it all out there since we like to get ahead of things. What if Dak Prescott is to start this game?
Good.
Oh.
Then you don't get that. You don't get it. It's not Cooper Rush.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, it doesn't look like that,
Classic
but
Zach fashion, by the way. Just submitting items that clearly aren't going to hit, keeping the scoring low, just wasting everyone's time. Go on.
I just had to ask. It's a good,
Yeah.
could happen.
3 going once. 3 going twice. Sold.
That's a good one. Oh, I was about.
Well,
Okay.
I mean, you can't hem
Wait,
and haw.
who got it?
I did for 3.
Okay.
All right.
That's a good one, Bo. I was I was in a basketball
right.
auction last night when John Collins went way lower than he should have, and I was
Go deep.
kicking myself thereafter.
All right. A quarterback sneak fails to get a first down or touchdown by either team during the game.
We just saw that in the Thursday night game tonight. 1.
Hey, spoiler alert! I'm taping it. I'm just
Oh,
kidding.
sorry.
I'm
It's
definitely
a real,
kidding.
it's real intriguing. And
It was
0-0.
one of these for the Eagles last week. Of course, they ran like 7 or 8 of them. 2.
3. Did you say it has to be 4th and 1?
No, just a quarterback sneak is attempted that does not gain the line to gain
Oh, okay.
or a touchdown.
Doesn't have
if
to be
it's-
4th
yeah.
and 1.
No.
Okay. You said 2?
I believe.
I think I said 3.
Okay, yeah, you said 3. 3 going once. 3 going twice. I'll say 4. 4 going once.
5.
5 going once. 5 going twice. Sold
Okay.
to Marissa.
I don't love that one, but I feel like I keep going in these bidding and I'm not actually walking away with.
You got to have some
items,
skin in the
so,
game.
Yeah. Okay. Jalen Hurts attempts less than 30 passes. This one
Fewer.
was submitted
Fewer.
fewer than. Jeez. I'm reading them directly from the chat. This one was-
Chatters.
Yeah.
We've got a game theory professor. We're going to need an English professor in
Yeah.
for the
I'm
chatter.
not good at it either. So this one was submitted by Squidward, who's always in our chat, loyal listener. And he says that Jalen Hurts has only done this once this season. So
What was the thing again?
I mean, you weren't listening.
I was too
So
focused on the grammar.
Wait, so fewer than 30?
Fewer than 30 passes.
Attempts fewer than 30 passes.
Mhm.
Okay.
4.
Big
5.
range of possibilities here.
How many
Get
do I
into
have
it.
overall?
You have 13 left.
6.
Marissa has 18. I have 19.
7.
6. 8.
9.
Zach pained as if
10.
he was stabbed in the abdomen for the audio listeners.
10.
11.
12.
13.
You got it. I can't go any higher. I'm expecting the Eagles to really focus on running the ball this game. Dallas, like I said earlier, Dallas's run defense is inferior to their pass defense. I think the Eagles are going to try to neutralize the pressure rate by more RPOs, more rollouts, more quarterback runs. And additionally, I don't believe this is going to be a shootout, right? So the games when Hurts has, well, they haven't been shootouts, but the Eagles have tried to pick up points through the air. I think this is going to be a big ground game for the Eagles. So that's why I like Marissa's bid there.
This is a good time to remind people that the Eagles had 5 designed running plays in the entire game in week 3 last year. It
Well said.
And 2 of them were zone reads that Micah Parsons blew up. And one of them was an RPO that actually went for 24 yards, and one of them was in garbage time. I mean, it was all passing the whole game, and that's when, if you guys remember, like it was around that time that everything changed.
Yes. All right, Deniz, you're up for your second prompt.
All right, this is going to be an interesting kind of auction as well. Since I'm here, I thought we would make them all interesting this time.
I have 19.
it.
Zach has 13. Marissa has 5. 3. Sorry. No, Marissa
this
has
is
5.
going to be. There's no official name for this because it's not a standard. There is a thing called a reverse Dutch auction, but that's not what this is. This is an increasing price Dutch style auction. Okay. Instead of working down, I'm going to work up. And the way it's going to work is the numbers going to keep on going up, and you have to yell, "I'm out," when you're out. Okay. If you're out of turkeys, you're just out automatically. Okay. But otherwise, you have to yell, "I'm out," and whoever yells, "I'm out" last gets the item for whatever the number that I just said last is. Okay. So it's like the opposite of the other one. Now Marissa only has 5 turkeys, so if I get above 5, then she's out automatically. So you guys, the rest of you should know that. So once I'm above 5, there are only going to be 2 of you left. Okay.
I'd like to make one adjustment.
Yeah.
It's his game.
Swooper out.
Swooper
Instead
out.
of I'm out. Swooper out.
Yeah, I actually thought I spent way too much time thinking about what it should be today, and the best thing I could come up with was I'm out, which is terrible.
Right, I'm out.
Swooper out is actually it's slightly better. Let's use
Swooper out.
Swooper out. That's fine.
Okay, swooper out.
Swooper out. Okay. All right. The item is the Eagles score more than 2.5 points per drive. This is drives as tabulated by Football Outsiders, which means kneel down drives don't count. Kneel down drives at the end of the half don't count. 2.5 points per drive. Currently, the Eagles are 6th in the league at 2.46 points per drive. They scored 2.5 points per drive in the game last week, a game in which everyone said they didn't score very much. They actually scored quite a lot, given that there were only 8 possessions. So I'm basically saying they're going to get more than that. And if it's exactly 2.5, it doesn't count. So it has to be more than 2.5. Okay.
Okay.
So that's the item. Oh, by the way, Dallas is 3rd in the league at points per drive allowed. They are only allowing 1.33 points per drive. And the league average is 1.98. So, all right. You guys ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm starting at 0 and working up. 1, 2, 3, 4,
Swooper out.
Swooper out. Yeah.
Swooper out. Well, no, I'll wait
Okay,
till you
so
say
Zach
it.
and Marissa both said Swooper out after I said 4, so Bo gets it for 4.
Okay, great.
Interesting. Okay.
All right.
All right, Zach, you're up.
Okay. Sorry, I'm pulling this up here. The Cowboys convert more third downs than the Eagles. And like I said earlier, the Cowboys' third down offense is 29th in the league at 30.9%. Eagles' third down offense, sixth in the league at 43.8%. The Eagles' third down defense is 25th in the league at 45.3%. Cowboys' third down defense is 10th in the league at 33.8%. So basically, who does better against the opposing defense? The Cowboys against the Eagles defense on third downs, or the Eagles against the Cowboys?
But it's just raw conversions.
Raw conversions, not percentage. Should we make it percentage?
No, it's your auction. It's your thing.
I was doing it based on raw conversions, but
That's fine. Don't apologize for it.
No, I think percentage.
I think that's almost more fun.
Raw okay.
Because because the Eagles could still do better, but if they give up more third down opportunities.
Okay.
Which is a perfect time to bring up the fact that the Dallas offense is dead last in the league at getting first downs before third down. They only get them 40% of the time. The league average is close to 50. They therefore get more third down opportunities than anybody else in the league because they also don't turn it over. So they don't turn the ball over, and they don't. They're first in the league at avoiding turnovers, but also somehow last in the league at getting first downs on the first 2 downs. So they have more third down opportunities than anyone else in the league.
That's good context. I didn't realize that. That's good to know.
2.
3.
I'm out on this one.
4.
5.
6. 6 going once.
Yours. You got it.
6 going twice. Sold.
All right.
All right.
Bo, what's up for his last one?
The time that the post-game podcast ends,
Throwback.
minutes after midnight, is larger than the number of yards the Cowboys gain from scrimmage. So if the podcast ends at 2:30, that's 150 minutes after midnight, and you're comparing that to the Cowboys' yards from scrimmage. So might have to be a late night pod, but we've had some late night pods. This is a Sunday primetime game.
So the problem here is that Marissa is low on turkeys, and Bo can keep a late night pod going with the best of them. So if Bo wins this,
That's exactly right.
So
Zach, you need to win it.
I don't think the Cowboys are going to have an offensive explosion, and I certainly don't hope we don't have a podcast that's going till 4 a.m. or 3 a.m. So
yeah, but we won't even start.
It's in your control to make me disincentivized to keep the podcast going.
Now that you frame it like that, how many turkeys do I have?
You have 13.
I know.
I have 9.
Yeah.
Go all in.
1.
3.
5.
Come on, Zach,
6.
do it. Yes.
7.
Ooh.
How many do we have after this?
2 more.
Come on, Zach. Come on, Zach. Come on, Zach.
7 going once.
You have it for 7.
7 going twice.
You have it for 7.
Well,
Wow, Zach.
you are making your own bed, my friend, and you are
Quite
not going to
literally,
get to sleep in
probably.
it. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm making my bed on Sunday morning, and I'm not. Well, Emily will be in it, but I will not. Yeah.
Flex.
Yeah, so. It's a flex to say my wife's going to be sleeping in bed.
Yeah. Your bed. All right.
We do share a bed. Yes, I'm willing to admit as much on the podcast.
Keep
Yes.
that in mind for the password.
Yeah, no, I'm noting that. Yeah.
All right, Marissa, you're up.
Okay. There will be at least 2 NBC camera shots of someone cooking cheesesteaks.
Ooh,
Mm.
2. Mm.
So I think we should start this at like 8
consecutive
o'clock.
edits of the same thing.
Yeah, what are we like? What
I
if
think
it's
it has
the
to be 2 separate times. Now it could be the same
okay.
shot twice, but it needs to be.
So at least 2 shots, 2 separate shots.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So if
And
it's
it's starting
like
at
an
8 o'clock.
exterior of Pat's and
Yes.
then an interior of them cooking steaks, that doesn't count because it's the same segment.
I would say I took it as 2 separate occurrences.
Okay. So probably 2 bumpers.
If it's Pat's and Gino's, if maybe they're at both of them.
But if it's the same bumper, this is a little nebulous. Tough
There was a video going around of
Deniz?
Jalen Hurts cooking a cheesesteak. They might show that.
Right,
Oh
that would
yes.
count.
Yes.
We did see it. We saw that on Monday night on the minicast, right?
Yep.
That's right.
See?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. Deniz, all right. It's up to your final judging. Does 2 shots?
So why is it up to me?
Because you
What
are
is it?
the swooper god.
I think just for it to be more likely, because I like high scoring and entertainment, unlike Zach and his 3 items that have hit all year. I think we should make this
Zach plays
if
Swooper
it's
like it's
even
Thursday night
even
football.
if it's just 2 angles of the same place, like I think it should count. So
Okay.
the only thing that doesn't count is if it's like 1 shot of cheesesteaks on the grill and that's it.
Okay, I'm in.
Just 1 cut is all it takes?
But there have to be cheesesteaks on both of them. It can't be an exterior.
Okay.
It has to be people making cheesesteaks.
And it has to be cooking. Yeah, they can't just be eating the
Cooking.
cheesesteaks. They got to be
Cooking.
cooking
Yeah,
the
yeah.
cheesesteak.
Like chopping them. Yeah.
Not eating and not exactly.
Okay.
All right.
1,
2.
3. Bows out.
Bows out.
Yes. I only have 2
3.
left.
Yeah. So, and there's one more after this. You're out at how many?
She's got 5 left.
4.
How many Zach have left?
13.
5.
You can have it.
Okay.
Zach.
Whoa. I went into tonight with a strategy. Okay.
You
Can I
could
tell
have
you my
taken, you
You
could have
could've got
taken
both.
both of these.
Yes, but I want look, this is a 1-point week. Okay. We
Yeah, you're
are
right. You're right. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
The points this season have come on multi-point weeks. I want to go in with excess amount of turkeys. So once she used 5 turkeys and you have 3 turkeys left, then I know I can get the next one for 4 and I can I can get the next one at a certain number and then I can carry over a lot of turkeys. So anyways, that's my rationale. For
That's
this.
true. That's good strategy. But I will say you are playing into Deniz's hands. You're playing for a tie. This is extremely anti.
Okay,
exciting.
but these are the rules of engagement. Yes.
Well, I have good news for everyone. One of the problems with item 12, which I have been submitting every week, is that it usually just goes to whoever has the most turkeys left. And it's kind of boring for that reason.
You can borrow.
Therefore, I'm going to do something a little different. This is going to be a regular auction. However, after the item is sold, there will be a resale market. The person who wins the item can auction it off to the other 2 people who can borrow from next week's turkeys to buy it.
Mm.
Ooh.
Okay.
I like
This way
this.
it'll, and I think this is actually a good idea for every week because otherwise like everyone's kind of out by the end. So, I won't,
But that's
we'll
part
see
of
if
the
we
fun
do.
is like you don't know what it's still. It's
Yeah,
still
you don't know. Yeah, exactly. You don't know if it's
Yeah.
going to happen. But here's the
It's a
deal.
Willy Wonka
Okay,
type
so-
thing. It could be a vomit jelly bean.
Yeah. So the item is the Eagles win the game.
Mm.
And like I said, it's just going to be a normal auction. So you guys can just bid for it the normal way.
3.
So Zach wins it for 3. Don't know why I didn't say 2, but that's all right.
I thought Bo had 3. I thought Bo had 3.
2.
I had 2.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, then I did
That's
a fake
okay.
turkey.
Small mistake. Only 1 turkey lost there.
Okay.
Zach, it is now your item, and you can auction it off to Marissa and Bo if you want. You start the bidding at whatever. You're going to keep it? Really? Okay.
Wait. Let me see here.
There's no price at which you would sell it? Like,
no,
you're not even
no, there
try?
is a price. Okay. All right. What will you guys buy it for?
You can start at whatever number you want. You're the auctioneer.
Okay. Do I get these turkeys for next week, by the way?
Exactly. You're selling it. So you get the turkeys.
Oh, okay.
That's
I'm
the
sorry.
whole
I thought I just deplete from their reservoir.
No. So it feeds into exactly what you want to do. Like, it gives you turkeys for next week. And if one of them thinks that this will put them over the top, they might be willing. It might be worth more to them than it is to you. Hence the resale market.
Okay.
Zach, I'll buy
Real
it
quick
for
auction
4.
theory note, by the way. Auctions are great for efficiency because they go to the person who values the item the most. However, due to budget constraints, that doesn't always happen, and there are severe budget constraints in item 12. So I'm trying to fix that problem by letting you guys use next week's turkeys.
Okay.
But they're going directly to Zach.
They go to Zach, exactly. So you're paying Zach. You should keep that in mind when you're bidding. And then Zach, again, you can start the bidding anywhere you want, but if they bid, then you have to honor the auction. You can't change your mind after it's over.
Okay. Let's start the bidding at 13.
What?
13.
How confident are you in the Eagles winning?
I'm not willing to give you 30. I mean, that's a 26 turkey swing.
Okay.
Yeah,
so then I will. So then I'll bring it down. Then
You're gonna bring it down.
Yeah. Well, this is what happens. Have you ever been to to an auction when they say $100, $100?
Yeah,
and they say,
he can bring it down. There's nothing wrong with that.
That's what I'm saying. Then give me They
Okay.
start 100. All right, then $50, so that kind of thing, right? That's what
It usually goes up, but
Yeah, you're supposed to start low and let the bidding make it go up, but that's okay.
Okay. All right. So then let's start at the bottom then. Okay. We'll start at 3.
I'll give it to you for 3.
Okay. Go up to 5.
Wait, what?
I'm sorry.
It's just an auction now. Marissa said 3. It's an auction between Marissa and Bo.
This is what I didn't understand. That's why I was starting it at a high number. So now I have to honor 3.
Well, why did you say
If
3?
I don't-
You didn't have to say it. It's just the 13 was kind of crazy. I do like that you said 5, though. That was a good throwback.
I'll give you 4.
So I could just be a real jerk and stop. So he's got to give it to Bo for 4.
I thought about really letting you just have it for 3 and really.
I was good with it.
Zach, you're not even trying to win this week. These are free turkeys for next week. It's good.
Jesus.
I'll do 5. I can't let Bo win, but I would love for.
I should have let you have it for 3. I think that would have been much funnier.
Yeah, because that's what he bought it for.
I'd like to rescind my bid of 4.
So 5 going once. Zach, you're supposed to be the auctioneer, but I'll do it for you. Going once.
Yeah, I'm not thrilled with the way this has gone here.
Going twice.
5 going once, 5 going twice. Who wants it? Who wants 5? Do I have a 5? Do I have a 6 here? 6. 6 go. Do I hear 7?
You're not
Anyone
allowed to
have
bid
7?
yourself, Zach.
Anyone have 7? Anyone have 7? Yeah, he has
Okay,
6.
going once.
No. 6 going
twice.
once. Do I hear a 7? Do I hear a 7? 7 in the back. 7 in the back.
6?
That's what they
What do you
do.
mean?
No one said 6, Zach. All right.
I said 6.
You
Oh,
did?
you said
did?
6.
Oh,
Yes,
I didn't hear you. Okay.
Professor Selman, you must listen here. Okay, so we have
Wow,
a 6 in the top
Bo.
right
I
corner.
thought we were in this together.
I
We have
thought
a,
so
we
too,
have a
but I
6
should have
in
let
the
you
top
have it at
right
3.
corner. Do I have a 7? Do I have a 7? Anyone here? Do I hear
I'll
a
do
7?
7.
7 in the top left corner. Do I hear an 8? Do I hear an 8? Anyone have an 8? 7 going once. 7 going. Is that an 8? Do I hear 8 over there? 7 going twice. Do I hear an 8? Do I hear an 8? I see a hand going up. Do I hear an 8?
Going once.
his hand went up.
No,
That's
no,
an 8.
No.
That's not an 8.
I am not in. Marissa's got it.
Okay. All right.
Okay, Marissa gets it for 7.
Marissa
So
gets
she's
it for
going to
7.
start
really-
next week with 17 turkeys.
Yeah. I
Zach,
basically
Zach,
pushed
you're
all
gonna
my
start.
turkeys
You're gonna
in
start
for
with
this week.
41 turkeys.
41 turkeys, and Bo's going to start with 26.
Okay.
Wow.
But that item goes to Marissa.
To Marissa.
All right.
I need a win this week.
So Marissa, you have the Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence fewer than 1.5 sacks. A quarterback sneak fails. Jalen Hurts throws fewer than 30 passes. There are 2 shots of a cheesesteak being cooked, and the Eagles win. Zach,
those.
you have Jordan Davis snaps are higher than Cowboys rush attempts, and the Eagles force at least 2 turnovers. I have a defensive special teams touchdown. The Cooper Rush quarterback rating is higher, passer rating is higher than Jalen Hurts's. What else here? I can't even read my own handwriting. My post game pod one. The Cowboys' third downs are more than the Eagles' third downs, and more than 2.5 something
Points per drive.
points per drive. There it is. All right. Well, Deniz, you have been here the whole time. We might as well ask you for your crystal ball Eagle prediction.
Oh no, I can't do that. I mean, Dallas week. I predicted 20-0 for the season officially, right?
Yeah.
I'm on pace. I said the Eagles would be favored in every game until the bye. That's also been true. I don't think Dallas is as good as people are saying, and
Okay.
I'll be part of the fans, so I'll do what Bo does and pander to the fans and be like, it's going to be a wild atmosphere. And all that. And it's so nice to get a Dallas game that means something. We've had so many of these, like week 17, week 18,
At home,
like 3 of the last 4, I think, have been like meaningless week last game. 2016, 2017, last year were all like that. So nice to get a real one. But yeah, I think the Eagles will win the game. It might be close, but Eagles will win.
All right. I'll go quickly. I think I just don't see the Cowboys offense keeping up in this game. I think the Cowboys defense will make some plays, but they're not going to be able to stop the Eagles from scoring all game long. As much as I think they'll be able to run the ball, I also think that they'll have some opportunities on the opposite side of Trayvon Diggs. I do sort of think that this might be an A.J. Brown game after last week, and I have the Eagles winning and holding on at the end in the least or the greatest amount of one-score game it can possibly be. Eagles 24, Cowboys 16.
So you don't have the Eagles covering. This line was, last I checked, at 6 points. You have it
I
at
do have
21-16.
them. I had 24-16.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said 21-16.
24-16.
24-16. Sorry, I did not hear you correctly.
Yeah, that's okay.
So I see this game similarly in that I think this Cowboys defense is good, in particular their pass rush, but I don't think the Eagles are going to be throwing it the same way, say, the Rams tried to last week, right? I think the Eagles believe they can run on anyone, and they can run on the Cowboys. You're going to see a lot of quarterback runs this game. I think they're going to continue to lean into that, and I think defensively, the Eagles are going to trust their run defense. This is going to be a big Jordan Davis game, but I think it's going to be a possession game, a time of possession game. So I don't expect many drives. I expect them to hold on to the ball longer. So I think this is going to hit the under. I like the Eagles winning, but I like the Cowboys covering. I have the Eagles 20, Cowboys 16. I believe that the Cowboys have not allowed a team to score more than 20 points this season, and the Eagles have not scored fewer than 20 points this season, right? So one of those might have to give here.
We do need to go back to the tape because I wonder if you are now 6 for 6 in picking the favorite to win but not cover.
Good question. No, I picked them to cover against Washington.
Okay.
Yeah, I do believe. Now, I can't tell you that with certainty, but I do believe I picked them to win against Washington. But yeah, I do take the both sides there. But I think Dallas
I
covers.
can't argue with that. You got to have something to brag about afterwards.
I think Dallas covers. Eagles win. So 20-16 Eagles. Eagles advance to 6-0. And then a big question that comes after the game is this a bad time for a bye? Right? And a matter of fact, I actually think this is a good time for a bye. I think from the players' perspectives, having talked to them about this in the past, they don't look at where it is in the overall in like the 18-week season. They include training camp and the preseason in there too, right? Because they've been going now since July. So actually this bye falls at a decent time there, and players will get refreshed and they come back against Kenny Pickett and the Steelers on October 30th.
Schedule gets really quirky. There are going to be 2 games in the next 28 days after this one, and they will be 4 days apart. So it's very weird scheduling. Mini bye comes very shortly after the real.
And it's more than the normal mini bye because they have this weird Thursday to Monday turnaround. Right?
Yeah, that's why it's 2 and 28 days. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's you usually don't see the Monday game after the Thursday game. Yeah.
Hey guys, listen. Have a good time. Enjoy your rest, but be smart. You know, you are accountable to your teammates. We talk about accountability. You are accountable to your teammates even when you're not at the facility. Be smart. Otherwise, have fun.
I'd like to quickly amend my prediction. I wasn't prepared for Crystal Bald Eagle. I should mention that I'll be at the game with my buddy Feldman. Okay, shout out Feldman.
Shout out
Feldman and I were in the stands together when the Sixers made it to the NBA Finals in 2001. We were behind home plate, standing room only, when Brad Lidge finished the World Series that the Phillies won. We were in the stands when the Eagles advanced to the Super Bowl back in 2004. And we were in the stands together week 17 of 2008, which means that my prediction is Eagles 44, Dallas 6.
I feel like I need a little bit more Feldman backstory.
We can talk about Feldman more later. Yeah.
Okay.
So the Bucks game 7 you were at.
We were at all the NBA Finals games too, but that didn't fit my narrative very much.
Corey?
But were you there for the second round? Vince Carter
Every
shot.
playoff game that year, we had playoff strips. Yeah, $53 a game, including NBA Finals, which is less than it costs now.
Bruce,
did you think Vince Carter's shot was going in?
Oh yeah, definitely. It was coming towards us, and yeah,
okay.
yeah. It was scary.
That
heart
run
stopped. Heart stopped.
Yeah.
Not as much as when the ball to Julio Jones was in the air, but
yeah, that Sixers run. I remember that so distinctly. So
yeah, no, that was great.
Shout out to Feldman.
Back when the Sixers were fun and likable, but this isn't a Sixers thing. So.
And you've also written the Phillies out of your life.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't really know why, but yeah, baseball lost me at some point, and I don't really know. It was a weird.
Not enough auctions.
This is a fun, likable team. You should get into this Phillies team.
I can't do the bandwagon thing. I can't suddenly start watching. Okay. No.
All of a sudden, you start scoring every game.
Yeah, exactly.
Starting their defensive shifts. Yeah.
Disingenuous.
The Sixers, I don't know. I think the Sixers are fun this year. I can't get. I know the Flyers are opening tonight. Can't really get behind that one, but Sixers are fun this year for sure.
All right. Well, Deniz, you have been extremely generous with your time, as always. We thank you for joining us. We thank everybody for listening and the sickos of you who watched live. So for Marissa and Zach and Deniz and Feldman, I'm Bo. We thank you for listening. We will talk to you very early Monday morning, most likely. And as always, we love you.